A good Erev Shabbos. Hope you're enjoying this beautiful day, and of course getting ready for Shabbos. All week, every morning, Shayna wakes us up early. I told you this, I think, at like 7 a.m., 6 a.m., and she always asks what day of the week it is. And when I say Friday, she starts dancing. Aha, Shabbos is coming. It's time to celebrate. Shabbos is a beautiful time. A little thought of the week. In this week's Torah portion, we read the story about when the Jewish people were complaining against Moshe after Korach, after the spies. And God sent the venomous snake. And the venomous snake brought a lot of poison. And a lot of people died. And Moses and Aaron turned to God to pray for help. And God told Aaron and Moshe to do something very interesting. He said, take a copper snake, make a form that should look like the head of a snake on copper, and put it on a piece of wood, and place it in the middle of the whole community. And all the sick people will come. They will look at that copper snake, and they will be healed. And so happened, Moshe did it, and the Jewish people got healed, and the pandemic finished. And in fact, this copper snake on the piece of wood, God told Moses to keep it, that the Jewish people should remember what happened when they complained and when they rebelled. And the question, of course, is a very simple question. Why would God want them to look at the venomous snake that actually bit them for them to have healing? And secondly, as the Talmud asks this famous question, what does it mean? Look at the snake. Is it, so to speak, the snake that was healing them? No. The Talmud says they would look up at heaven, and when they would see God, then they would be healed. But if that's the case, why the snake? If they're looking at God anyways, who needs the snake? Why should they think that the snake is healing them? And in fact, we learn later in the prophets that the Jewish people started worshiping this snake. And it had to be destroyed. I'm not sure if you know, many of you are doctors, but the Caduceus medical symbol, if you check it on Wikipedia, according to most opinions, it stems from this week's Torah portion, because many a doctor wish and pray that their healing should be as good as Moses is. They hope that just as Moses was able to heal by looking at the symbol, the Caduceus snake of copper on a piece of wood, they pray that so should be with their medicine they give people. But why? Why would you take the thing that actually hurt them and use it in order to bring them healing? And ironically, now, thousands of years later, you think about the pandemic we had with COVID, and how did they bring an end, so to speak? We're not finished, but every day we're getting better and easier, and there's less people with COVID, and restrictions are off, and we're going back to regular life. But how did that happen? And of course, we all know that the vaccine, which was the greatest remarkable feat, which literally has changed our lives, is where they give a little bit of the venom of the COVID into the person so that their body should react and they shouldn't get, and that their defenses, their natural defenses, should take over. The rabbis tell us something very powerful. And I want you to think about this. You ever heard of the term cut and paste? Right? You get onto your computer, you take a few words, you write a whole essay, and you want to move words around. So you cut and paste certain words from one place to the other. There's also a spiritual cut and paste. Years ago at a Farbrengen, the Rebbe asked the question, where does bad come from? Not why. Why is a question that we're going to struggle with for eternity. It's a question that mankind can never understand. Why does God make people suffer? But where does bad come from? And the answer that Rebbe gave was very profound and connected to this copper snake, the Caduceus. The Rebbe said like this: you see, everything that comes from heaven is morphed from different Hebrew letters, from different spirits, from Kabbalistic, spiritual, holy things. Imagine you read a book from Hemingway, and then you read a book from Yankel Schwartz. One book has a message to it, has a point, has meaning, has an idea, and another book is not even worth the paper it was written on. But why? It's the same 26 letters in the alphabet. So why the difference? And the same as you can have Isaac Perman playing music for you, you can have another kid with the same notes. And it sounds terrible. And the answer, of course, is it's all how you form the letters, where you put each letter and how you create the words. Says the Rebbe, the same is true with everything in this world. Bad is only a corruption of the good that God sends to our way. And therefore, if you reconfigure the letters and the challenges, you could bring yourself something good. And that's what God was telling Moshe. You know how you get healed from the Nechash HaNachoshes? How do you get healed from the venomous snake that bit you? You look at the snake above. You have to look upwards towards heaven. You have to remember that everything comes from God. And our job is within the struggle, within the challenge, to reconfigure it into a blessing. Yes, pain hurts. Challenges hurt. Struggles are hard. But we have to take every letter that comes our way, every snake that comes our way, and lift it on a stick and look above and say, this is coming from God. How am I going to turn this into a blessing? It's not easy. It's something we have to work on all our life. And no one should ever be judged with pain and challenge and struggle. But the message that God was giving us and the Rebbe was trying to relay is that yes, challenge and struggle and pain is hard. But we could grow from it and we could find the blessing in it. Hashem should bless each and every one of us with a beautiful Shabbos. It's a beautiful summer coming along. We're in a much better space than we were last year. Thank God we have camp opening up for over 150 kids. Shul is packed every Shabbos. Tomorrow we'll be at Shul at 10:30, outdoor in a tent. We've been getting large crowds. Events are happening. People are getting to go on vacation. We have to turn those challenges, the pain, the suffering, into a blessing. That's the job of a doctor, and that's why the Caduceus is the symbol of the medical community, because we're reminded what God told Moshe, when they will look upwards at the venomous snake and look and remember where it comes from, then they will live and they will use it as a blessing and as something to springboard to something greater. God bless you. Have a Shabbat Shalom.